Hi, and welcome to Beyond the Falls. Today I've got Julie Lee with Ritzinger Eye Clinic. So thank you so much, Julie, for coming and joining me on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I was honored. This is great, Sarah.
Yes, I'm very excited to learn about your business. But first, I like to ask everyone, what is your connection to River Falls?
So how we got here is kind of a long story with a lot of different avenues, but so I met my husband in Chicago, my husband John in Chicago in optometry school, and shortly after graduation we ended up living in Prescott, and so that was our hub. I was commuting into the eastern suburbs, he was on this side of the river, and great jobs, but neither one of those had kind of ownership potential. We just wanted a little bit more autonomy, and so we started looking for what else was out there, right? So we had done this a few years, and Ritzinger Eye Clinic had advertised that they were selling off one of their locations, the Ellsworth location. So I thought, gosh, I could do both, right? I could do this and kind of grow that practice. And so, and then as we got together, connected with them, when we finally connected, it was, oh, JK, we changed our minds. We would like to bring you on as a partner instead of selling off this portion. And so so I did. It was a good fit, I think, for everybody. And the two docs at the time were looking to downsize a little bit, and so they brought me on full time. But that was 2002. And so then we just found ourselves, we were still living in Prescott, but doing everything here, you know. And so I was commuting to Ellsworth, Prescott, or Ellsworth, Hudson, River Falls from Prescott, and but we just did everything here, you know, swim lessons, and we did business here, and our practice was here. And so, and in the meantime, my husband had his solo practice, so we ended up merging everything together, and we've started living here. We moved here about 10 years ago when our youngest started kindergarten. So it's a lot of avenues, but so we love it. It's been great.
Yes. It's a great place to live, right? I mean,
we love it. And just from the very get-go, Rocky Branch, you guys are Rocky Branchers, but just everything, they were so welcoming, and they just made the transition really easy, and it was amazing. And the kids just fit in right away. So that felt good. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So you mentioned it's been 23 years since you've been
here. Yes.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about like that journey, and I want to learn what made you decide that you wanted to get into optometry.
So I'm maybe one of those weird folks that I've always wanted to be a doctor. I think from age 4th grade, I remember, you know, what do you want to be? And my pinup in the hallway was, I want to be a doctor, but I really didn't know what. And so I didn't want to work. I really decided like an emergency room, that's not a good fit for me, but I really want to I just want to be able to care for people, but I also wanted a life, and I wanted a family, and I wanted that flexibility. And so I looked into a few other things. I actually was enrolled in another school, we'll say another professional school, I won't say, but, and then I shadowed for a while, and then just felt like this is not a good fit. And so just stayed in college one more year, and then started in Chicago. So I just, that's what I wanted. And I always wore glasses and contacts. So it just seemed to be a good fit for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what got me into it, I guess. But, and then, we never thought, it just doesn't feel like 23 years. It does not feel
Feels like yesterday, I bet.
Kind of, although, you know, just what we've been through over the course of this 20 some years, I feel like, okay, that's a lot. Now I can step back and see that. But so.
That's awesome. So speaking of, so you've been involved for 23 years, but the clinic has actually been around much longer.
Yes.
I'm probably jumping a little bit ahead.
That's okay.
But history. Why don't you talk about that? This is the 75th anniversary.
Yes.
Yes.
So 1950. And I don't have the right location, but so 1950, Dick Ritzinger opened the first clinic here in River Falls on Main Street. And so then his son, Mark Ritzinger, who still is in River Falls, so he joined. I got a little bit of the history this week from some old scrapbook, but so 1976. So then he joined his dad. 1980s, I'll say early 80s, they actually merged with Wally Schutte. His practice was in Hudson. And so then the three of them were in business for quite some time. And so from 80s right until I came on, it was the three of them. And they had Hudson, River Falls, Ellsworth. But yeah, not until 2002 that I came on. So, but otherwise, yeah, there's gals that were working when I first started that I still keep in touch with, and he had I don't know, they developed this. I feel very, very lucky. We feel very lucky. They developed just the reputation of, I think, excellent customer service and just really high quality products, and that hopefully is just kind of been still ingrained, and that's what we'd like to carry on too. So
yeah,
but yeah, great reputation that we bought into, and so
yeah, oh, it's so amazing. I wanted to ask, of course, there's the River Falls Clinic, which I think most of us are familiar with. What other locations are you guys currently
right now
in?
we have Hudson, and so we did at one point when we had 4 docs. So there was my husband John and I were full-time, and the more senior docs were part-time. So we had 4 locations. We had Hudson, River Falls, Prescott, Ellsworth, and it was great. Like, we could make that all work. Yeah. And then as the 2 docs retired, it just the aha moment came that, hey, there's 2 of us, let's just have 2 locations. So it's been Hudson, River Falls for the last 10 years. Not really even that long, maybe, but so that feels better.
Yeah,
it's more manageable. But and then I'm in River Falls early in the week. John is in Hudson early in the week, and then we flip flop. So we get to share the
so
staff.
Nicely, yeah.
It does, and no one gets sick of us probably after just 2 or 3 days. So, but it's good, and some of our staff bounce back and forth too. Some don't, but it just works. So.
It's lovely, like the way it just works out and worked out for you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to get into like what is the importance of getting your eyes checked?
So I'm super biased, right? I feel like, oh my gosh, how does everybody not know this? But so vision, yes, like number one. So from childhood up to elderly, you can have vision issues that can be really obvious, or you can have vision issues that are kind of hiding a little bit, and so it's just essential to kind of catch that stuff early. So having childhood exams, there can be some conditions that you're unable to catch until you really do an eye exam versus a school screening or a vision screening.
What age would you suggest for that?
Young school age,
okay.
And so I think prior to kindergarten, kids have to have, we'll say, an eye exam before they enter kindergarten. And many of them might do that just through their pediatrician, but there's so much more we can look at, and just even getting an idea of what does this look like for you? And maybe this is normal, maybe this is not, but now the longer we see people, the more longevity we have for data, and we can say, look, this is changing over time, we need to address this, or look at this is kind of a risk for you, let's keep a watch on that. Vision and kind of these young years too, anywhere between 5 and 25, it changes so quickly, right? And so kids with glasses and contacts, let's go every year, right? And you got worse a little bit, or hey, what about your family history of either eye disease or prescription changes?
Yeah.
And we dilate most people we dilate at this point, just to make sure that the retina's healthy too. So diabetes can show up in the retina, hypertension can show up there. Unfortunately, cancer can show up in the eye, and just other things that we want to watch. So
yeah. So you would suggest probably a checkup once a year.
Yes.
For adults too.
Yes.
Okay. How has the field changed? In what ways have you seen it change since you started your career?
And maybe some good, some bad.
Yeah,
right? Maybe the downside would be more of the insurance side of things, that just, instead of people coming where they want to go, sometimes that's dictated by insurance or coverage, that type of thing. Yep. The coolest stuff is the technology.
That's what I was interested in. Yeah.
I love the medical technology. I love how things change. So when we came out of school, this was 1999. So even particular for glaucoma. So this is how we diagnose glaucoma. And what we realized how many years later is, we weren't catching it early enough. The technology wasn't there. So we were relying on this data, and now there's instrumentation to be able to pick stuff up earlier. So we're diagnosing it earlier. The treatments are better. So medication has improved, treatments, surgeries. Many times for glaucoma, it was, this is how you treat it. Oh, your things aren't going well. Let's do surgery, which wasn't all that great either. But now everything along the line has improved. So we're diagnosing things 10 years earlier, treating it better. So I feel like our generation, we're not going to lose vision over this because we're going to catch it early. So
yeah. You're just going to know so much sooner. And
there's amazing equipment out there. So
tell me more, like what kind of equipment, as best as you can.
Okay, so my favorite piece of equipment, it's called an OCT. So it's retinal imaging. And so we do it for all kinds of reasons. Number one, glaucoma. So I treat a ton of glaucoma. John does as well. And so we can actually scan that optic nerve, and we're looking at the retina from the side. Is it thin? We ask the computer what to do, so it can scan that optic nerve to be able to follow that over time. But it's identifying areas of thinning that we can't see when we're just looking at that optic nerve, so we can watch progress over time. If you have fluid in your eye, maybe post-cataract surgery, or even just a freckle in the eye that we want to watch. So there's lots of different reasons that we might scan the retina, but so we can take that imaging, it gets a good snapshot, but we can follow that over time or make a proper referral. So certain fluid in the eye has to be referred for surgical treatment. So it allows us to catch that as opposed to just viewing the retina. So that's my favorite. We use it every day.
I was going to say you probably help people along so much more being able to use that technology and catch things so much sooner than
yes.
Especially if you're getting checked every year, right?
Yes, right. Well, and I won't give too much away. So we're demoing a piece of equipment next week just because we want to be able to offer different changes or different options for patients. So I won't elaborate, but it'll come out later. But so we're looking at something new that we've been looking at for a long time, and so
that's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Very exciting. A lot of people go into you to get new prescription glasses. My question for you, personal question too, how do you know what kind of glasses you should get? What's going to look best on your face? Like, how do you know?
So if you come in, some people will come in with already an idea of, this is what I think I should have, right? And so I think sometimes it's nice to say, all right, Sarah wants red glasses. All right, so we're going to pull out some red glasses, but our opticians might say, what do you think though? Let's try some brown glasses. Let's try some silver glasses. Or we're painfully honest. I think sometimes it's just, hey, my professional opinion is, that's really big. I mean, some of the younger generation likes huge glasses.
Yeah.
Well, it's my professional opinion that's really large on you. I will tease some of the teenagers, just, no, that's really big, but they're going to pick what they like anyway. But I feel like it's not just shape and color, but we have to accommodate the prescription. So if you have a bigger prescription, nope, these are kind of out of the question.
Sure.
But personality, I mean, you and I know two just people who have really fun personalities. So then they have fun glasses, or someone will come in and say, I want people to barely see my glasses. Okay, we can accommodate that too, right? Or I have sinus problems, so I want something really lightweight. So we've got great frames for that too. So it's just a matter of trying stuff and trying something maybe that's out of your comfort zone. So many times people pick something that they weren't planning on, which is kind of fun too. So
as we're kind of wrapping up, is there anything else that you wanted that we didn't talk about that maybe I missed?
We also are going to be launching a new website soon. So some changes for us, which is good. So right now, social media wise, we've had to kind of start over in the past few years. And so followers, we would need Facebook followers at this point, because we want to be able to get information about our sales or information about different products that people might be interested in, or specials, that type of thing. So we'd like to get that out there. So everybody can like and follow us on Facebook, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
We just have a new Instagram account as well. So it's not behind the times, but we're just reorganizing some things.
Yeah.
But we're launching something new. I don't know when it'll be out. Probably a month or something like that.
Exciting.
So, yeah, it's really exciting for us. But
that is fun. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. I know you're a busy lady. I really appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Like I said, I'm honored. This was fun, and just to get a little information out there is good.
Yeah.
So.
Don't forget to give them a like on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you on the next episode of Beyond the Falls.